Hello, welcome back to another Hashtag Finance Friday. And this month we have been talking all about teams. We've been talking about processes and KPIs and OKRs. And I've actually learned quite a lot in terms of my preparation time as I've been making sure that I get you guys really good content, not just about managing the team better, but even the onboarding processes. And there's just been so much that I've been learning, and I hope that you feel the same. So to close out this month, I want to address one final concept as we're talking about managing teams, and I want to talk about the concept of employee empowerment. Now, we've spoken about employee engagement at some sort of length, right? So let's just have a quick squiz and see what the difference is between employee engagement and employee empowerment. So engagement and empowerment are related. So engagement, they say, here we go, let's quote them. Engagement increases productivity, it improves performance, and it lowers turnover, and it attracts talent. Empowerment, on the other hand, is the fuel, and employee engagement is the fire. So empowerment really tries to provide a structure and the means for employee engagement to flourish. So maybe you're like, I still don't know what this is. Okay, that's fine. So let's dig a little bit deeper. So employee empowerment in the workplace is really a philosophy that encourages workers to make their own independent decisions. And managers should give workers the proper support for them to feel that they are confident in their roles and that they can make the right decisions, right? So rather than micromanaging your employees, what employee empowerment is all about is about allowing them the autonomy they need to flourish, but with some guidance, okay? So mistakes are viewed as lessons learned, and risk-taking is seen as a chance to grow. I love that. I think that's really important, especially for someone like me that is quite risk-averse. It's nice to be able to look at it on a slightly different perspective. And when implemented the right way, you will find that employee empowerment helps workers feel more comfortable developing as professionals within the company. So if you think about all that, that's quite a mouthful, but to summarize that, basically it means you need to start trusting your employees, and you need to trust them to be able to make the right decisions, which means that you should have hopefully selected the right employees in the first place. And that's sometimes where the problem comes in. But we had a separate session all about choosing the right team. So go check out that video that we did. So let's go have a look at a few ways that we can go about empowering our employees. And I'm just going to mention a handful. Firstly, we need to communicate a clear vision. Both as a boss and as a leader, it is your job to make sure that everyone is on the same page. And if you think about it, people who don't know what they're supposed to be doing won't be able to accomplish their jobs very well. It's like that whole expectation gap that can sometimes come up, right? So if you can clearly define the roles of your staff and your employees, they will know what their duties are, and that will make sure that we don't have any stepping on toes and we won't have conflict of interest, and everyone will know exactly what their responsibility is. So that's the first one. Secondly, don't avoid small talk. Remember, you have employed humans, not robots. So it can be in either a formal or an informal environment. It could be in a coffee shop down the street, in your office, in a breakaway room, doesn't matter. But the whole point here is to remember, as a boss and as an employer, we all make an impact on our employees' lives. The question is just, what type of impact is that going to be, and will your impact be positive? Okay, next up, we want to encourage self-improvement and making sure that your employees are continuously learning, doing continuous professional development, if you want to use the big terms. You know, it doesn't matter. The point is, as long as an employee is learning new skills, they are developing themselves, they are effectively going to be improving the company as a whole. So it's really beneficial to make sure that they are doing that. Then think about leaving your office door open. Now, I know open door policies are often a point of contention because as the person sitting within this open office space, you might find that your productivity decreases. But it's so important to show your employees that you care about them. And you need to show them that you care about what they think, and at the same time be able to enable them or give them the tools they need to be able to give their input and play an active role in your company. Because at the end of the day, that is what matters, right? Everyone has a part to play, and if your employees feel like they cannot play an active part because of some sort of limitation, then you are going to be struggling with getting their buy-in in different projects that you do. Okay, so just to mention that this might look slightly different in a remote working space. You know, if you don't actually physically have an open door that you can make available to the people in cyberspace, this might look different. Okay, and it might just mean being more available when they need you at the time that they need you, and being flexible in terms of when that happens. And then think about supporting holiday time or vacation time, both theirs as well as your own. Because if you think about it, we'll all be more productive because we are feeling more rested and rejuvenated and actually excited to be getting back to work. And long weekends here and there should not only be tolerated, but they should actually be actively supported. And I know for myself in my business, it's been such a challenge for me to make sure that I am taking those breaks. But I know that when I do take them, I do feel refreshed and I can come back with fresh enthusiasm for what is to come in the next season. Then the next one is to delegate more than just work. So it's easy to delegate work and tasks that we don't like to do, but sometimes it might mean delegating, taking the lead in a sales call if someone has shown the potential to be able to do that. Okay, so it could be taking the lead in an important meeting, even if it's just while you're stepping out to take a phone call, and you'll then pick it right back up as soon as you get back. But being able to give them that responsibility makes such a difference to their confidence and being able to make the right decisions. Then learn flexibility. I think COVID has taught us how to be flexible. We have to consider what a work-life environment can be like, especially if you're working from home. We have to consider kids, we have to consider other commitments, and we have to make sure that within our work environment, whether we are working from home or not, we need to be flexible. And thinking about getting people to come into work earlier and leaving earlier to avoid rush hour traffic, or the inverse, doesn't matter. Like, it's all about fitting in with their schedule. But still being able to make sure that you maintain that correct work culture and getting the work done, right? Okay, then inspire creative thinking. This is really cool. It's not to say that the old way is always going to be the best way. Problems can almost always be solved in a new way and potentially in better ways, right? And if your employees are allowed to have brilliant creative strokes of genius, the chances are that they actually will have them. But you need to be able to stimulate and create that environment where that type of thinking is allowed. And then one that doesn't need much explanation, my second to last one, is to appreciate your employees. And I'm just going to leave it there for a moment. Appreciate your employees. How valued do you feel when you are appreciated? When someone says thank you or praises you or encourages you for a job well done, right? We need to do the same with our employees. So the last one is that we need to play to their strengths. Now, there really is a lot to be said for playing towards or playing to someone's strengths. And being able to put a team together based on their individual strengths will really be able to make that team so much stronger. So whether those strengths are small in that they know how to write a good email, or whether it's really big in terms of being able to have really good public speaking experience and being well-versed, being able to lead client meetings well, it doesn't matter. The point is that strengths are important, and it can really help your employees to feel more empowered to be able to do their best work if they know that their strengths are being unlocked one day at a time. So even if you can only do some of these things, you'll start fostering a culture that is more positive and empowered, and thereby create employees that are more engaged and more productive, which of course naturally has a downstream implication onto your bottom line, not only from the productivity point of view, which will inevitably result in more profitability, but also from a perspective of increased employee retention. Because as you know, having to replace your employees is expensive and really, really unnecessary. So employee retention rates go up, which means that you save loads of money, which is great. So I want to know, what are you going to be doing to make sure that your workforce is helping you to be more profitable? How are you going to implement some of the things that we've been sharing, not just in today's session, in some of the others that we've been doing this month as well? I'd really, really like to hear what you think. So why don't you pop a comment down below and let us know what you are doing to implement some of these tips and tricks in the workplace as well. Okay, so let's get the conversation going. And until next week's #Finance Friday, make sure you stay profitable. Bye.